Van, sportbiketracker.com, and today we're going to install a set of driven racing endurance cups on our 2015 STG Yamaha YZF-R1. One for the front and one for the back. It's a very simple install. You're going to see stuff like this used right on top level racing teams. A lot of times they'll be actually welded to, or part of the axle nut itself and kind of protect the axle nut, kind of helps guide a socket on there, that kind of stuff for quick tire changes. For our purposes, what is it going to do? Well, you could argue it would protect your axle nut a little bit in the event of a fall, but honestly, it's going to look phenomenal. Available in multiple colors. Driven has always been known for some bold and beautiful colors as well as machining tools to do this. You need to be able to remove your axle nut, okay? On the back here, got a big socket, a big old 1/2-inch ratchet. I'm going to replace the stock the stock washer with the endurance cup. It's going to be basically the same thickness at the end of the day. Put that in place. Go ahead and get our axle nut started. Another tool I have for the rear is this wrench. I'm going to take this wrench, put it in between my chain and then my sprocket. What I want to do is I want to put some pressure right on the axle adjuster bolts. Make sure that they're as far forward as possible. We've got the adjuster blocks contacting those. It can prevent these bolts coming loose. I like to tap on it a couple of times. Then I'm going to come back here and snug it up. If you're a torque wrench user, no problem. You can do that as well. I have chosen not to do so. Remember, you can always find your torque specs on Google. All right, there you have it. There's the rear install. When we come back, we're going to be working on the front of the bike. And you got to admit, you got the driven racing spool, axle block slider, that endurance cup back there, Spiegler brake line with the fitting in the yellow, the Graves exhaust. This bike is starting to look amazing. When we come back, be working on the front. Okay, now we're going to finish up the endurance cup install. We're going to come up to the front. Very simple install up here. Okay, the axle is secured in place with our pinch bolts and everything still, so we can keep the motorcycle right on the ground. All we need to do is have a really big socket and a big ratchet, loosen it up. The nut here, wow, that is really light. I'm guessing that's aluminum. It looks like aluminum and it weighs nothing. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put the actual endurance cup in place. There's a little coating of grease here and there. That's going to make this work even better. The washer is part of the nut, so no big deal. Just going to put that on there, slide the cup over. Very easy install. Okay, it's going to kind of protect your fork bottom a little bit on the side. That's great. Makes it easier to get the socket in there. It just kind of drops in. That's cool. But at the end of the day, that looks factory. And you couple that with the other stuff we have going on up here, the brake lines and such, gives it a great high-end factory look. Available in multiple colors. These are the driven racing endurance cups installed on our 2015 STG Yamaha YZF-R1.